Today we celebrate the feast of the Immaculate Conception of Mary. Since 1945, our country's been dedicated to Mary under the special name Immaculate Conception. It's a feast where we remember that Mary was perceived from all stain of original sin and full of grace at her conception. What's important about the feast is to remember Mary's yes to Gabriel at the Annunciation, where she heard what he had to say and she said yes. I believe we all have our own Annunciation in our own lives, that time when we say yes to God and accept God's will in our lives, and say, as Mary did, this is not necessarily what I planned to do with my life, but I don't understand, but your will be done in my life. And Mary's life certainly changed once she said her yes to God. Mary's life was not as simple as she probably thought it was going to be, but Mary became pregnant, and Joseph even wondered whether he should even marry Mary. Her child was born in a manger after the long trip to Bethlehem, and the family left the country so that Jesus would not be killed. So that was something that she certainly didn't plan, nor Joseph. Joseph died, and Mary had to raise Jesus all by herself. As a widow, Mary had the pains of seeing Jesus crucified. She was given to a friend of Jesus's, John, which would take care of her until Mary died. Mary had a lot of things to deal with, and our lives are the same, but we still need to say our yes to God with a special plan that He has for our life. We can look at our readings today. We hear the first reading of Adam and Eve. Note that it was only after their sin that they became afraid of God. But God did not abandon them, but promised to send an offspring to crush the head of the evil one. And Mary was the offspring that was sent in order to crush Satan. And we have that picture right in, for Our Lady of Guadalupe, right in our Marian chapel. In our second reading, God calls all of us to salvation through Jesus Christ, is what Paul says. He wants Jesus to dwell in our lives. It reminds us that God's plan is to unite and reconcile all of us to Christ. We are all chosen. We are all in need to say our yes to God for that plan. And the Gospels, that dialogue between Mary and the angel Gabriel, where Mary trusted God and accepted the plan that God had for her life. When Adam and Eve distanced themselves from God, Mary opened herself to God's wondrous deeds of redemption and received a more remarkable coming of Jesus into her life, and not just physically, but also spiritually. Today, on this special feast of the Immaculate Conception, the patron of our country, let us rededicate ourselves again, saying our yes in any of the plans that God may have for our life, especially being open to His plans during this Advent season, accepting, like Mary, God's special plan that He has for our life.